In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I built a fully automated email marketing system that's actually been deployed to 3 brands now. So this thing works fully autonomously, and it even has a self-improving feedback loop that's built into it. I'm going to be showing you the entire dashboard, showing you some of the emails that this thing can create. I'm actually going to show you the back end of it, how it actually, that self-improving feedback loop works. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to give you away your own markdown file so that you can go, and it's going to walk you through how to create your own version of this for your brand or for your client's brand. So let's just get straight into it. So what I've done here is I've made a little demo dashboard. Obviously I don't want to dox my clients that I've built this for, but as you can see here, this is basically what it looks like. It's like a mini Klaviyo that's in here. So it's just going to pull in the exact same data from your Klaviyo. We've got like the recent campaigns, the performance trends, average open rate, average click rate, estimated revenue. Then we've got sends by product, like which emails have we sent for. So I set this one up for Brez. We've got strategy recommendations. It's all very similar to Klaviyo, this part. We've got your campaigns in here, so it'll pull in all of the data from your campaigns. Then it's got your angles, angle performance, and then it's got the angle rotation calendar, because the way that that strategy brain works on the back end, it needs to like choose its own angles and choose which products to send the emails for based on all the data that it can grab from Klaviyo. We then have the schedule for emails that are coming up that have already been scheduled. We have segments, you know, which ones are getting burnt out. They're all active. Well, on the live ones, we have little health bars. So it shows you like which email segments are getting a little bit burnt out. Then we have like your products part. So you can upload new products in here. We're actually just putting in a new part where you can upload like ad scripts that are working or new angles that you want to test. And then it will just go straight into the strategy brain. It will start sending out those new angles. You have your settings in here, so obviously you can add in new users, or the brands can add in their team members if they need to look at it. The only things that need added in here is obviously the Klaviyo API and then an Anthropic API. Everything else is completely done through Anthropic, and the emails it generates is pure HTML. So I'm going to jump into the assistant. So in the assistant, don't worry, the emails don't look like that, like all over the place. I'll show you how it actually looks, but basically in this AI assistant, it means that the user can just come in and talk to this as if they're speaking to like ChatGPT or Claude, and they can be like, right, they can actually make emails in here. So I'll show you that one in a second. They can plan strategy. So let's say you're coming up to a big sale period, right? We've got a sale coming up from this date to this date. Here's the code, and here's the days that I want to send emails. You just put it in here, it'll add it to the strategy brain, and then it'll go off and do that over the next few days. You can analyze performance. You can ask it questions about your Klaviyo performance, and everything's built into one system essentially. And like you see here, I just said, make me a designed email using your top performing angle. It's got a little skill file inside this that designs this itself. So here we go, Brez, the only drink you'll actually feel. Every adaptogen drink promises a buzz. Brez is the only one that delivers it. Experience it, why it works. Got a little free shipping part here. Quite nice designed email. You know, it's not going to win any design awards, but for most brands, this is going to work perfectly fine. And you don't need to pay a designer. You don't need to pay an email marketing agency. You set this thing up once, and then you can control it yourself or have a team member control it. It also does plain text email, so I could type in plain text. I'm not going to show you that because it's quite boring. It will just come up in the same way, but it will be your plain text. So that's how the dashboard works. Now I'm going to show you how this thing works on the back end, because that's where all of the substance is. So what I've done is I've made a little Claude diagram here. By the way, if you've not used the new Claude interactive diagrams, it is so cool. You can literally just put anything in. Like I put in a markdown folder for the Claude MD of that, and then it just built this to show me exactly how it looks. So this is how the back end system works. The way that I want you to imagine it is, on the back end, this isn't running in your terminal. All of that stuff that I showed you there is put onto a server. So, you know, you can get like an $8 a month server from what they called DigitalOcean, or there's loads of them. you just get a server, you take all the files once you've built them, you put it onto a server, and then it's going to run on a scheduler or a cron job. So every time it goes to send an email on your preferred cadence, it's going to do this exact thing. It will go into your daily scheduler, it will pull in the live Klaviyo data, it's going to score your angles and your products, it's going to apply the cooldowns. So if you've been smashing a particular angle, if you've been smashing a particular product, it's going to apply that. Then it's going to choose, so right now we send 75% plain text, 25% design. It's going to determine which email is next. Then it comes into our draft generation. So right now it goes into the strategy memo. So that's a little memo that gets created twice a week by the AI, looking at all of the data, and it's like a little 300 words that gets put into that system prompt. Then we've got the creative ledger, which is the same thing, but specifically for design emails, so that we're not rinsing and repeating the same images all the time. And campaign history, so it's going to show the click-through rates and tracked revenue. Then we come into the email archive, so it's going to check out the recent drafts or the ones that it's sent. And then finally, it's actually going to generate the email and the compliance. After that, it's going to save the body and metadata. That gets put into the strategy brain every 2 days, and then it's going to analyze the performance and then refresh that strategy memo that's up here. In between that section, once it's actually created the email, it goes to Klaviyo, it creates it and it sends. So it uses the Klaviyo API, and you can even do this inside the actual dashboard. So if this was hooked up to my Klaviyo API, as you can see here, I can say save to draft or schedule the send. And it's got some subject lines up here as well, and it's even got the preview text there as well. So once that's done, let's go back over and I'll show you the self-improving part. That's basically how it schedules emails itself. That's the logic that it uses. But the real IP of this and the real value comes from its feedback loop. So kind of part of that, but we're going to dive a little bit deeper. It writes the email, it archives the draft, and it takes in the body and the metadata. So that's all of the copy and the valuable stuff in there. Sends to Klaviyo, and then it measures the click-through, the opens, and the attributed revenue every 48 hours. Then it's going to link it to the archive, which is, where is it? The email archive in here. It saves it in there, and then it starts analyzing the patterns. So that's like another part of the strategy brain that starts analyzing open rates that work, hooks that work, specific angles that work, whatever. And then it's going to drop that into the insights for the next prompt. So that was like your little memo part. It drops all of that in there. So the feedback loop is like what makes this thing self-improving. Instead of just like a static email scheduler that just writes and sends all the time, this thing gets better the longer you run it. So it will write, archive, draft, and then it waits 48 hours to get all of the data, and then it links those metrics back to the specific draft, analyzes the patterns which drove performance, and then it injects those insights into the next email's prompt. So the green nodes are the email archive additions that close this loop. So as you can see here, start. Plain text email, plain text email, plain text email, and then it's going to force a design. That's because we do 25% design, 75% plain text. Hopefully you're still following along. And yeah, that is pretty much how the entire feedback loop actually works. Now, is this going to be for every single brand? No. If a brand is doing, I would say, any more than like 500k a month to $1 million a month, I would say that they probably should have some sort of person, maybe implementing this kind of system, but a lot more human oversight. Whereas if you're like at like 100k a month, 200k a month, 50k a month, you don't need to be spending 10 grand a month, 8 grand a month, 5 grand a month on an email agency when you can set this up and have it run on autopilot. Or if you're a freelancer and you're doing ads for a brand, and they have like some freelancer doing their email stuff and they're charging them 3 grand a month, you can implement this for them for a one-time fee of like 10k, and it just runs automatically. Now, The only thing is, I'm going to show you in a second how to actually take that markdown file that I'm going to give you and set it up yourself. This is not like a templated thing that you're going to be able to plug this in and it just runs. That is not how these things work. They need to be highly customized for each brand, specifically for that brand. But I'm going to show you quickly how you can do that. Okay, so the thing that I'm going to give you, if you click the link in the description, join my email list, you're going to get a bunch of free gifts. One of them is the automated or the agentic email system. You're going to grab that markdown file and then you're going to place it into whatever IED that you use, whether that's Claude Code, the terminal, I'm using anti-gravity, whatever you're using. You're just going to drop it inside its folder. So as you can see, there's nothing else in here. It's just the folder and then the agent setup guide. This thing is going to run you through how to actually set this up, and it's going to set everything up for you in this folder. So it walks through what this thing is, what the agent does. It's already laid out the entire project structure for you, and everything that you're going to need to add into it. And at the bottom, if you actually look at it, it's going to show you how to put it together step by step. So number one is the foundation. It's going to create like your structure of all the folders. All you need to do to get this thing going is come in here, type into there, or you open up like a Claude terminal in there. Yes, I trust this folder. And then you're just going to be like, help me set this up. You could also put in something like a really simple prompt like, help me set this up. Remember, I am not technical. I need you to walk me through this step by step. Something like that. That is going to then kick off the onboarding, and it's actually going to walk you through how to actually set this up, and it's going to set up all the folders for you. And the only things that you're going to need is things like your Klaviyo API, access to copy and all your brand documents and stuff like that, and it's going to walk through everything. It's even going to set up the brand dashboard for you as well. The only thing that I'm going to point out here that's the sticking point for everything is the design. To really get design dialed in with HTML, it takes a lot of back and forth. You're not going to be able to one-shot it. You can do that for landing pages, but for emails, it's a lot harder. Sometimes I've done it, like for one brand, it was super easy. We've done like 2 or 3 reruns of it and it was able to get it. But the best way to do it is, you can do this in 2 ways. You can build tokenized, you can do it 3 ways actually. Build 3 or 4 tokenized HTML templates. So if you've got emails that you've been using previously, extract the HTML from it and turn those into tokenized templates. So then this agent will be able to then insert like headline, subheadline, call to action, image, whatever, and it will use that structure from your other HTML. In my opinion, it comes out a little bit blocky and it's not ideal. The other way you can do it is you have 5 to 10 reference screenshots of emails for your brand that's been done by a designer, and then it's going to reference those. Or the other way that you can do it is you can have it reference your website and build emails that look like your website. The main thing in here is what you kind of want to do is, if you don't have any emails that are there, you're going to use this, you're going to set it up until it's ready to go, and then it's going to create your skill file for designing emails. And then you just want to come in here and be like, make me a design email for my brand. Boom. It's going to show you that on a local host. Once you've done that, you look through it and be like, right, that's not really formatted correctly. I don't like how the images have round corners. I want them to be like straight. I want it to have announcement bars on it. I want it to add more bulleted sections. You just speak to it how you want it to do it. And then you just iterate on that till you've got a working email. Then you save that email, get it to screenshot the email and put that into your references. Then do it another one. Then with this second one, you can reference that first one. So the second one's going to be easier. And then once you've got 3 or 4 of them, then when you actually go to create the actual scheduler and the automated version, it's going to be able to reference all of your other emails, and it's going to have a really dialed in design profile. That's the most important part, your design profile. So like, for example, I'll actually pull up the one that I've been doing for that demo, which was for Brez. So if I pull up the the email design skill file for this, you can see it's already got screenshots of the landing pages. It's already got screenshots of email references. Then it goes into design philosophy. It looks like the website. Airy, breathable, premium, generous white space, no dense blocks or cramped sections. And the way that I created this was I literally just went into the website, pulled up this agent inside it, and I says, I want you to redesign the skill file based on everything that you can pull from the website. And look at all the design profiling in there, pull out the CSS if you can, and I want a skill file that highly resembles the website. That's the way that you do it. So that's the part that's like a lot of back and forth. But yeah, once you're done, then you'll have something that is pretty sick like this. And it means that you can just like, you know, say you've got like a bunch of clients or whatever, you can just install this for them. And even if it doesn't run autonomously, you make a designed email in 2 minutes. You just give it a little prompt, like write me a designed email for this, using this angle. It will generate you something like this. You look at it, you're like, yeah, that's pretty sick. And then I'll just come over and then schedule the send. It sends it straight to Klaviyo, or you save it as draft, whatever. So yeah, that is it for this video. Another thing to note, these 3 that I've installed, I'm still closely monitoring them. Anybody who's saying that they're just installing fully autonomous agents right now, I would stay away from them. I've installed 3 of these, but I'm still watching them heavily. Like for 2 of the brands, they're not even running autonomously yet. They're running semi-autonomous. They send an email every day to Klaviyo. Most of the time I'm just going in, checking it, scheduling it. I hit one button and then it's done. The reason that I'm doing that is because I want to minimize all brand risk and minimize all of the failures that it might come in. We've only had a few so far, but there will be some times when it will just send a subject line will be like formatted incorrectly, or maybe a design email will use like a really off image, or it will pull in the image from somewhere that's completely wrong and it just puts it in there. So there's little things like that. So we installed these 3 weeks ago or something, and for the next like 2 months, I'm still going to be heavily watching these. You can't just install this into a brand and fuck off and leave them with it, unfortunately, because things can still go wrong. All of this technology, especially automated agents, are still so new that you can't just throw it in there and be like, yeah, on you go. I've got my money, you play with it. You still need to be watching this thing. But the great thing is, once you've set it up, it's literally just a case of like checking it, right, something kind of went wrong there. We need to fix that part of the agent. So I just wanted to add that. Don't just go around throwing these into brands and then leaving them, because, you know, things can go wrong. But yeah, that is it. Hopefully you've enjoyed this one. Make sure you get on the email list to get that markdown file, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks.